last week of the regular season is upon us, and I've lost my glasses. Looks like I'll have to use my Crofty specials. It's time for the CGN Hotline show to start right now.
Fighting and sometimes driving, wondering what the double is. Excellence and what is the valor? And the key will end up with a golf ball. CGN!
Welcome back to another edition of the CGN Hotline Show. Bork Legendary here. It's magic time, boys! Time for the playoffs, but 1 week remains. A lot of things have already been settled. There are a couple of things that are still out there. Let's take a look, shall we, at last week's results. Our first matchup saw the Greatest Fantasy going up against the Favorite Sweater. Greatest Fantasy locks up a playoff berth with a 135-87 victory. The Favorite Sweater drops to 6-6, but it's pretty much a lock based on points that they too will also claim a spot in the playoffs. Next, we had Pimps McGee going up against the Commish, the Lazy Perfectionists, and look who finally woke up. After his feature week, the Lazy Perfectionists score 143 points. They moved to 3-9. Pimps McGee, while dropping to 7-5, has locked up a playoff spot as well. That's 3 of the 6 teams. Our next match saw Excello Supremo going up against Afternoon Delight. Now this was a close matchup. Excello Supremo wins 132-128. They go to 9-3 and they lock up another of those playoff berths. That's 4 of them. Afternoon Delight drops to 5-7, but they're not out of it yet. Red Jefferson Dung Run going up against the Loose Balls. The Loose Balls, hot as a pistol, folks. The Loose Balls are dynamite. You do not want to be facing them in the playoffs. They win 156-72. Red Jefferson Dung Run had a lot of buys that week. Loose Balls go to 7-5 and lock up the 5th of the 6 playoff spots. Red Jefferson Dung Run at 6-6, still in the hunt. And finally, the Sharks going up against Coyote Snuggly. The Sharks win 100-85. They move to 5-7. The Coyote Snuggly, they drop to 4-8. But both of these teams are mathematically looking like they are eliminated. But hey, Jake Doges, the Doge, folks. After 12 long weeks in the salt mines, he has the highest point total of the week and the 15 bucks. You the best, baby.
I'm the best. 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 I'm the best.
Feature segment this week takes a look pretty close to home for me. We're going to take a look at my brother-in-law and I. That's right, it's Bork Legendary and his producer, Z-Chain.
Every day I wake up feeling legendary, like I got something to prove, maybe.
Gotta get it set right for Bork Legendary. Yeah! Yeah! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Oh, yeah!
Alright, Bork Legendary is ready.
I was on the cereal aisle. I was looking for the shredded mini wheat, frosted mini wheats. I looked over. I was at a distance, you know. I was like, this guy was breaking it down, but the guy had moves. And as I got closer, I was like, that's my brother-in-law. I didn't know he had that in him. I really didn't.
I mean, it's just flows. It's just flows. I realized that I hadn't spoken my truth.
The guy had moves, serious moves. And I was like, we gotta take this somewhere. We gotta monetize this. I don't think that you were Bork. I think you're legendary.
The door is open now. The beats are flowing.
In Publix that day, the thread of humanity rose up in Bork. And I was the only person. Nobody at the meat aisle saw this. Nobody with the cereals. I saw this. Bork had the comet in him. He had the comet. It was beautiful. And I said, I'm going to make my ass rich off this dude.
Lyrics are important. The lyrics must speak the truth. The lyrics must be the truth. Bork Legendary is the truth. Every day I wake up feeling legendary. That is the truth.
I'm the beat man.
I gotta thank my beat maker. Without him, he unlocked the key. I gotta say, he unlocked the key. He didn't unlock the door. He wasn't the key that unlocked the door. He unlocked the key that unlocked the door.
I helped set that up. It was in Daytona, and I didn't know what he was going. I didn't know he was going to break into that.
That's no song. That's my mantra. That's the mantra for the legendary.
I was sitting there engineering, but I had to get up from the seat and just express myself too in the background.
I've told people, I've shown people exactly what I'm about.
I don't know if you can hear the dance moves that I was doing, but it kind of picks it up on the monitor a little bit. I mean, you can hear a little bit of me shuffling my feet.
I've shown people exactly what I can do, but they have no idea what is yet to come.
If you really listen closely. I mean, it was that badass. So I don't know if you're going to hear it in there, but it's in there. And I can point it out if you're ever around.
I'd like to thank the fans. The fans are important to the legendary. Without them, who am I? Still legendary.
This is my favorite sweater. I can wear it in bed. I can wear it to the grocery store. I was wearing it when I met Bork, or when I saw Bork Legendary and ordained him as Bork Legendary.
The truth is true, and soon you will see.
It's Bork Legendary. Then I'm gonna add in.
I'm more than a skinny white boy. I'm a lean, mean machine that spits joy. And I don't need no hoes. I got the baddest bitch at home.
The baddest bitch at home? You better believe it, brother.
Bork Legendary has a sense of rhythm, but not like me. I am the rhythmic genius.
Bork Legendary is gonna drop the next hit before the championship is decided. Kick the motherfucking door in, let's begin. I need to spin about this Justice League I'm in this era of prosperity. I need to see, dissect the seed to see if I bleed. First off, let's...
Whoa, that's enough.
What's
that's
up?
It, that's it.
What's
that's all
up?
I get right
What's
now.
up? The beat wasn't hot?
That's all I get right now.
That's all you get right now. 3 weeks. 3 weeks. I dropped the hot track in the next 3 weeks. Boom!
Beat is dope, and you are going to hear the end results from our work in the studio. Bork Legendary and Z-Chain ripping into the future. Now let's take a look at our future, shall we, with the matchups for week 13. It's Red Jefferson Dung Run going up against the Lazy Perfectionist. Now, Red Jefferson Dung Run and Afternoon Delight are both competing for the final playoff spot. Red Jefferson Dung Run needs a win here to secure it. If they win, they're in. If they lose and Afternoon Delight wins, then it's going to come down to points. So I think Red Jefferson Dung Run going up against Lazy Perfectionist. They had a good week last week, but everybody's back from bye. Red Jefferson Dung Run, I have to say, is going to win this and make their way into the playoffs. Our next matchup sees Pimps McGee going up against Afternoon Delight. Now, Crofty, you know the situation, buddy. Okay, you got to win. That's first off. Now, Pimps McGee is struggling. I think you will beat him this week. But then it comes down to Red Jefferson Dung Run. You need him to lose, and then you need to beat him in points, and you're essentially tied right now. I think that's the future. I think that it's going to be Red Jefferson Dung Run into the playoffs, because that mountain is just a little too tough to climb. But look for Crofty to win this week. Our next matchup is the CGN Hotline Show's Upset Pick of the Week.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
No playoff implications here with Coyote Snuggly and the Loose Balls, but there is going to be an upset. Coyote Snuggly's going to snap that win streak of the Loose Balls heading into the playoffs. It doesn't matter. The Loose Balls have guaranteed a spot. But look for that upset pick right here with Coyote Snuggly. Next, we've got Excello Supremo going up against the favorite Sweater. Now, there's a little bit of drama here because Excello Supremo is probably going to win the highest point total. I think that's $55. He's ahead of the Greatest Fantasy by 30 points. But hey, stranger things have happened. If he pitches a dud, it's possible that he could give that title up to the Greatest Fantasy. But Excello Supremo's going to the playoffs. The favorite Sweater going to the playoffs. Excello Supremo's going to have a bye, and look for them to win this week. Our final matchup sees the Greatest Fantasy going against Danny Heater and the Sharks. The Greatest Fantasy needs to score a lot of points if they're going to overtake Excello Supremo. Other than that, there's no fantasy playoff implications here. The Greatest Fantasy has locked up the other bye. It's just going to be a shootout to the top. Look for the Greatest Fantasy to win. Does it for another edition of the CGN Hotline Show, caballeros. I'll see you boys on the field.